Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to discuss 6 easy steps for planning for engagement at the community league level. In general, I like to categorize community league engagement into 3 deep buckets. The first is informing, which is getting information out to community members using a variety of platforms. Some tools leagues use for this form of engagement include online and print newsletters, social media, and their community league lawn sign. Then there's engaging to consult, which is soliciting information from community members to help inform decision making. Some tools leagues use for this form of engagement include various forms of surveying, door knocking, votes at a general meeting, and even informal conversations at the playground or over coffee. Finally, there's engaging to belong, which is building a sense of community through actions that bring neighbors together. We all know leagues do this every day through the provision of programs, the hosting of events, and the bringing of neighbors together over a shared purpose of making the neighborhood a better place to live. Now, for each of these buckets, there will be a variety of methods you can use to inform, consult, and create a sense of belonging. We won't go over those tools in this video today, but we will in a future video. To demonstrate how to create a 6-step engagement plan, we're going to use this community league's events committee as an example. Part of their role is to decide which events and activities the league should host for members of the community in the coming year. In the past, the league has focused on programming for seniors, but since more families have moved into the community in recent years, the committee wants events that will appeal to families and their children as well. Instead of just selecting what events and activities they're going to host, the committee wants to talk to the community to find out what kinds of events would get community members excited about participating in league activities. However, before selecting which technique the community will use to get feedback to help inform their events planning this year, they are going to make an engagement plan. An engagement plan will both help them get organized and help to support a more effective process. While engagement plans can vary in complexity depending on the project, for league purposes, the events committee is going to ask themselves 6 questions before they begin talking to the community. First, they need to identify their purpose by asking, why is this initiative needed? Next, they need to identify their audience by asking, who do they want to engage? After, they should identify any potential engagement partners by asking, are there any other people, groups, or organizations they should be in communication with that can help them reach their audience? Then, they need to identify their desired outcome by asking, what is it that they're trying to achieve? After they've answered these questions, they can identify the necessary resources by describing what tools they'll need to achieve their desired outcomes. Once these first 5 questions are asked, they can finally begin to discuss what methods of engagement they should use. Now, using the events committee, we'll walk through these steps so you can get a sense of what an engagement plan might look like. So, to begin, the events committee decides that this initiative is needed to ensure events hosted at the league are appealing to a diverse sampling of community members. They want their events to be as inclusive as possible and offer activities that appeal to the young, old, and everyone in between. Their audience is both current league members as well as new community league members who may not be members of the league yet. Because they're trying to reach new families in the neighborhood, the committee has decided to reach out to schools, churches, and businesses to help them spread their message and put them in contact with community folks they may not have reached through standard channels quite yet. Community partners you may consider talking to at your own league can range anywhere from local businesses to schools to other places where community members gather. If your community has apartment buildings with protected access to mailboxes, you could consider speaking with the property manager about posting a flyer in the lobby. Now, desired outcomes are whatever you are trying to achieve through your engagement. In this case, the committee wants to host successful events that appeal to a wide range of people living in their community that allow community members to get together and have fun. In order to do this, you need to find out what kind of activities people in the community are looking for. Now, the resources that you will need will obviously depend on the plan you develop. In this case, the committee will need meeting space, volunteers who have time and knowledge, access to computers, printing materials, and possibly refreshments for the volunteers. Finally, now that they've done a bit of planning, they can start deciding what methods of engagement will be most appropriate based on their answers to the previous 5 questions. They decide the simplest way to collect feedback would be through an online survey, which they can advertise on their social media and in their newsletter. This ensures that the information will reach people who are currently engaged with the league and who have access to the internet and those who do not. To reach community people who may not be engaged with the league already, they decide to ask the engagement partners identified in step 3 if they would help them in sharing their survey as well. It can be tempting to jump right in, but by asking yourself these 6 simple questions before you begin consulting with your community, it can help to ensure more meaningful outcomes and a better use of your volunteer time overall.